Oh,
Welcome to our next episode of DecentMed Spotlight. Today, we're here with our new provider. He's a hypnotherapist and an executive business coach.
I'm Don Pellis. I'm a hypnotherapist. I work over the internet. I help people resolve issues in their lives that they don't want to settle for anymore, whether it's anxiety, performance issues, fears, phobias, substances like smoking, and so forth. In particular, I help athletes, executives, artistic performers with their performance. Performance has to be a combination, simultaneous relaxation and focus. And I help you do that.
Hey, we're doing things a little bit differently. I have spoken with multiple hypnotherapists, but I've never immersed into these modalities. And I think to give the public a chance to see just what hypnotherapy is, the perfect way to do it is for me to immerse in it.
So, Samuel, I'd like to start out. Do you have any pain right now? Any physical pain?
Not as much as I did. I used to have, like, this year, I've had a lot of back pain here. And yeah, a lot of upper back pain. But right now, actually, I don't feel too bad. I do have
Any
a
pain?
hemorrhoid. Yeah, I do have a hemorrhoid that I have that's been dealing with pain wise.
Oh, okay.
So, yeah.
Would it help? Would it be okay if it felt better?
Yes, much better.
Okay, well, let me show you one or two ways to do that. So close your eyes and just go down there where it's painful. Kind of imagine going into that space and tell me what color it is in there.
Like a dark red.
What would be a better color? More comfortable.
Either my skin color, just because it could go away, or green. Or
okay,
purple.
well, wait. Choose one.
We'll go just because of the area. We'll go with my skin color, so like a brown tan.
Kind of a light brown. Okay.
Yeah.
So just invite that dark red to fade. And as it does that, become kind of a reddish purple. Just nod to me. You're just inviting it. You're not. Okay, good. And then a purple all the way. That's right. And let the purple become kind of a brownish purple. That's right. And then all the way to brown. Just let me know when it's that nice tan brown color.
Yeah, I see more of a brown, less of a dark red.
Yeah. So let the brown, now just let that just change to, invite it to change to that just right light tan brown. Let me know when you've got it. There's no hurry.
Right.
Okay, and spread that all around in there. All the adjacent areas. Just spread it all around your rectum, everywhere. Just let it soak in. That's right. Give it just a little bit more. And when you're ready, you can open your eyes and tell me how it feels.
Ironically, it does. It actually feels. It definitely feels a lot better than yesterday. Yesterday was terrible. I had to go to the hospital. But it does feel a little airy. A little more airy than.
Is there still some discomfort there?
Not really. which is crazy because I had some about 5 minutes ago.
Oh, how about
Uh,
that?
but yeah, it does feel better. But yeah, yesterday was the worst pain I've
Okay.
had in a while.
So you can do this anywhere on your body, right? You just ask yourself, you go in there, ask yourself, what color is it? What would be a better color? And they might be different on different occasions or different parts of you. And then just invite the color that it is to change to the color that you want. And then just spread that around.
That's interesting because when I had the back pain, if I were to give it a color, I would say like a dark purple, like a bruise
Uh-huh.
type of color.
Yeah. And then,
And that would morph to a clear color,
yeah.
almost like a translucent.
Oh, so you did your back at the same time.
No, not today, but
Oh, okay. Yeah.
I've had a provider do energy work on it, multiple actually.
Uh-huh.
And just thinking of that analogy, the analogy I would think of is like a purple, like a dark, ugly, bruised kind of purple, transforming into a translucent color where you almost can't see it.
Right, right. Yeah. Often for me, it's a really light, watery blue, the good color. So was that hypnosis?
It felt like a mixture of hypnosis with breath work.
Uh-huh. Yeah. So I would say yes. First of all, can you really go inside your body and see what color it is?
No.
No. So you can imagine it. So we invoked your imagination. We all have 5 sensory modalities. Actually, there are more, but visual, kinesthetic, feeling, auditory, also smell and taste. So when I asked you to go inside and tell me what color, the pain was in the kinesthetic, right? The feeling mode.
Mm-hmm.
When I asked you what color it was, you moved it into the visual. And then you changed it there. And somehow that reflects back on the feeling. So I'd say, yeah, it's a form of hypnosis or self-hypnosis. One caveat, don't use this to cover up something that needs medical attention. So if you sprain your ankle, yeah, you can make it feel better, but go get an x-ray or get it checked out. If you have a toothache, go to a dentist, right? You don't want to mask something that needs medical attention. So let's talk about hypnosis. So hypnosis is an altered state. We usually think of it as a trance state, although just now when we were changing the pain, there was no obvious trance involved. But we usually think of it as a trance state. And we go in and out of trance all the time without noticing it or even thinking about it, right? So for instance, do you read much? Or have you ever?
I definitely do read. Lately, I'm more of a auditory, so I listen more.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah, I definitely read. Yes, sir.
So have you ever been really deep into a book, either reading or auditory, and maybe even somebody comes up and speaks to you and you don't even notice them at first? Has that ever happened? Mm-hmm. Well, that's a trance. You're experiencing the descriptions in the book. If it's fiction, you're involved with the characters, you're involved with the plot. You might be emotionally involved, and you're shutting everything else out. You're in your own little bubble with a book. That's a bona fide trance. We even use the word, we talk about an entrancing novel, for instance, or a hypnotic story, right? Have you ever been driving? You're driving along and you're thinking about something, your mind is going. And all of a sudden you realize you've gone several miles and you don't know how you got there. Has that ever happened to you?
Mm-hmm.
I think most of us, yeah. So some part of you is driving. It's not the conscious part of you, because that's otherwise engaged. But whatever it is, it knows how to drive. You're doing all the things a good driver does, except you might have missed a turn or an exit. Or say you're watching a movie. So to enjoy this movie, there's two things you need to do. You have to focus on the movie, and you have to go around that part of your mind that's always wanting to pick things apart. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Part that's going, that's not real. That's not real.
Yeah.
Because if you don't do that, you really can't enjoy the movie.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, think about it. These are actors. They're saying lines that they've learned. They're in costumes. They're in makeup. They're on a set. There's a camera crew. It's a lighting crew when they made this movie, a sound crew. Maybe special effects. And somebody directed this movie. Somebody wrote it. There was a screenwriter. And maybe there were rewrites. And people fought over it. But you put all that out of your mind so you can enjoy the movie. And in doing that, you put yourself in a very suggestible state. So if they want you to jump, you jump.
Never thought about it like that. That's a good point. Like horror movies, for example.
Sure. If they want you to feel sad, you might want to cry. Why? You're an adult. You're intelligent. You know it's not real. But you put yourself in that state so you can enjoy the movie. At the same time, no matter how much you're into the movie, you're always aware on some level that you're sitting there watching the movie. If they start shooting in the movie, do you hit the floor? Do you duck under your seat? Not unless you've got really bad PTSD.
Yeah. Yeah.
If the dinosaur comes on the screen, do you run out of the theater screaming, believing you're about to get eaten?
Mm-mm.
No, you don't, but some people scream. And in hypnosis, in a deeper state of trance, you're always aware on some level that you're sitting there in an altered hypnotic state. And if there's ever anything that doesn't suit you for any reason, either you'll just ignore it or you'll come out of hypnosis completely. Even the language we use, we say, I hypnotize you, but actually, I don't do anything to you. You're doing it. I guide you, I instruct you, I help you to access that altered state that's part of your mental equipment. But you're the one doing it. I'm just the guide. So let me show you something. Can you stand up where you are? Where are you in a bed or what? I can't hear you for all of a sudden. Okay. I'll do this first. Okay. I'll do this first. I'm going to put my... Okay? I don't really have to see you.
Oh, okay.
Okay. I'll do this first. I'm going to put my arm straight out in front of my body. I'm going to keep it perpendicular to my shoulders. I'm not going to bend at the shoulder. I'm going to watch my arm, watch my hand as I twist my body, keeping my arm straight, go as far as I can, and then come back. So go ahead and do that. Put your arm out. Now, keeping your arm straight in front of your body, twist your body and watch your hand and go as far as you can. No, go the other way. Go towards your palm. No, keep your arm straight in front of your body. Watch me. See what I'm doing? Do like, yeah. No, go the other way. Go the other way. Yeah, that's right. That's right. And just go as far as you can, twisting your body. That's right. Oh, you're doing great. Oh, wow. Okay, sit back down. So close your eyes, Samuel. And I want you to imagine what you just did. You're standing there, your arm is out, and you twist around, but this is your imagination. Go further. And when you're ready, twist all the way back and open your eyes. Okay, again, close your eyes. This time, go a lot further. Go 100, 120 degrees further. And notice what this feels like. Mm-hmm. And when you're ready, twist all the way back and open your eyes. Okay, one more time. Close your eyes, Samuel. This time, go all the way around. 360 degrees, like you're a cartoon character, like you're made of rubber. That's right, all the way. And whenever you're ready, twist all the way back and open your eyes. Okay, now stand up again, please, right where you were.
Okay.
Put your arm out and twist around as far as you can go. Oh my. Okay, twist back and sit back down. How did you do that? You went a lot further.
Yeah, I guess even in my brain, I felt the resistance. So as I was going further, all I could feel was resistance.
Uh-huh.
So maybe it was because I felt the resistance that was what pushed me to go almost 180.
Yeah, you did great. You're very flexible. But
Yeah, I never knew that. I found that out last year that I was flexible.
Yeah, but you went a lot further after you did the visualization. So you could say you told your body you could do it, and your body believed you. So of course you're aware this is visualization, right? Athletes do this. Elite athletes train this way. You could imagine yourself on a basketball court, for instance. You got to imagine you're standing on the free throw line. There's an imaginary ball in your hand, and in your mind, you shoot it up, perfect motion. The ball goes up, swish right through the basket. You can even hear it. Say you do that in your mind 10 times in a row, or 20, or maybe 50 times. And then you get out there with a real ball on a real court, and you start shooting it up, and it's going to go in more. And if somebody was scanning your brain while you're shooting the basketball, or just now when you're twisting, they would see the same areas light up when you imagine it as when you're actually doing it. In some sense, the brain doesn't know the difference. And maybe that's why it works. Tiger Woods has been doing this kind of visualization since he was a child, since he was 10 or 11.
Wow.
You probably don't, you're too young. Do you remember Greg Louganis by any chance?
No.
So he was an Olympic diver about 25 years ago. He won all kinds of gold medals. And I heard him on TV, this was years ago, saying that when he starts working on a new dive, he'll do it in his mind. 500 times before he ever steps out on the diving board. Dancers visualize. Gymnasts, if you watch them, if they show it, you can see them before their event. They're sitting there like this. They're going through the whole routine in their mind. I worked a few years ago with a figure skater. He was a young man. They have these amateur competitions in our area. And he would go around and compete in figure skating. So he and I, we have a public skating rink near here. So he and I used to go out to the skating rink, and I would have him sit, close his eyes, visualize what he was about to do. And then he'd go out on the ice and skate it. Come back, visualize, go out on the ice and skate. We would alternate the mental and the physical practice. And that worked really well. He improved quite a bit. So really what you just did with the twisting was a form of self-hypnosis. You hypnotized yourself to twist further. Congratulations.
Wow.
Some people hypnotize themselves in the negative. They'll say, oh, I screwed that up. I can't do this. This isn't going to work. That's very effective. So don't do that. If you catch yourself starting to talk to yourself that way, flip it. Make a positive statement that expresses your intention, what you want. So for instance, I don't know if you talk to yourself this way. For instance, let's just say you're about to say to yourself, oh, I really screwed that up. What would be the intention behind saying that? Why would you say something like that to yourself?
Because in your brain, you feel like you're a failure.
Yeah, it could be. So why do you say that?
Because if you're saying I screwed that up, then your intention in the negative is that I screw things up.
So what's the positive intention?
Is that things work out for me. I make good decisions.
Okay, so say that to yourself. This can work out. I can do better. Say what you want to yourself. This might work. I can do this. Right? Make positive statements that express your positive intention, what you want. When I play tennis, I catch myself sometimes. I'm about to say to myself, darn it, that's the third time you hit that ball into the net. But instead I'll say to myself, this time, hit it over the net. I make a positive statement, sometimes with, details about what I want. This time, hit it over the net. Right? So I'm going to show you a blend now, really of self-hypnosis and meditation. And you'll be able to do this. In fact, it's going to be an assignment. There's homework here. So start by getting comfortable. And close your eyes. And kind of defocus your mind. Now, I know a lot of meditation protocols tell you to quiet your mind. They usually don't tell you how, though. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying kind of defocus. So you're not thinking about anything in particular. And take yourself, Samuel, inside and occupy all the space inside your body. Every place, every part. From the top of your head all the way down to your toes, all the way to your fingertips. Even parts of you that you don't usually think about, like the back of your head, for instance. Just occupy that space. Be present there. Don't worry if you're doing it right. Just do the best you can. And now add your right shoulder. 2 places. Back of your head and your right shoulder simultaneously. Again, just do the best you can. And add your left elbow. And the ring finger on your left hand. And now your right hip. And your left kneecap. And the big toe on your right foot. 7 places. Occupy them all at the same time. Occupy all the space inside your body all at once. Some people get a sense of a wonderful, comfortable, hypnotic fluid. Yeah. Okay. Occupy all the space inside your body. Some people get a sense of a wonderful, comfortable, hypnotic fluid that's filling you up from your feet all the way to the top of your head. Just flowing into every part of you simultaneously. Some get a sense of a beautiful light shining inside of you that shines into every nook and cranny. However you do it, Samuel, get this sense of occupying all the space inside your body simultaneously. And holding on to this, get a feeling of expansion. Like you're a bubble expanding out into the universe in all directions. And now double that feeling. Intensify it, spread it, and double it again. Let it fill you. And start saying to yourself in your mind over and over, I live with a happy heart, a peaceful mind, and a playful spirit. Over and over. And I don't know if this is your current reality, but if it's not, think of this as a direction. Think of this as where you're going. I live with a happy heart, a peaceful mind, and a playful spirit. I'll let you do this by yourself for just a little bit. Happy, peaceful, playful. I live with a happy heart, a peaceful mind, and a playful spirit, over and over. And you might notice that your breathing has become slower and deeper and more regular. And your heartbeat perhaps has slowed down just a little bit, all on its own. And you can control this state, Samuel. So now take yourself deeper. Just go into it more intensely, allow it, drifting, floating deeper, way deeper. Whenever you hear me say in this context the word deeper, or when you say it to yourself, deeper, you feel yourself going deeper and deeper into this lovely state of trance. Say it to yourself a few times and feel it happening. And notice as you go deeper how good this feels. Feel the contentment. Feel the comfort and the pleasure throughout your mind and your body. I live with a happy heart, a peaceful mind, and a playful spirit over and over. Now, lighten your state just a little bit. Bring yourself up so you're not quite so deep. And allow your eyes to open. Close your eyes. Close them back down and once again go deeper. Go deeper than you were before. You can go just as deep as you like. Drifting, floating, say it to yourself a few times. Deeper, deeper. The deeper you go, Samuel, the better you feel. The deeper the contentment, the deeper the pleasure and the comfort throughout your mind and your body. And the better you feel, the deeper you can go. I live with a happy heart, a peaceful mind, and a playful spirit. Over and over. Keep that up in your mind while you listen to the sound of my voice. I do this first thing in the morning when I'm waking up. And at night when I'm about to go to sleep. And any time during the day when I need a mental vacation or I'm about to start a new task or activity. I set my mental timer for 2 or 3 minutes. I get comfortable, close my eyes, defocus my mind, and I take myself inside and I occupy all the space inside my body. And holding on to this, I get a feeling of expansion, like I'm a beautiful ball of energy shining way out into space, far beyond the limits of my physical body. Now double that feeling, Samuel, going deeper. And double it again, going even deeper so that every cell, every molecule is dancing in harmony. And start saying to yourself in your mind over and over, I live with a happy heart, a peaceful mind, and a playful spirit over and over. And keep this up for the amount of time that you set for yourself. And when that time is up and you're ready to come back, shout to yourself in your mind, I deserve to be happy, healthy, and successful. And then whenever you're ready, bring yourself back, all the way back to everyday time, space, and awareness. And whenever you're ready, you can sit up and open your eyes. Yeah. Okay. Anything you'd like to share?
It was. I can't describe the imagery, but as I continued to say that mantra in my mind, both times I went to an exact same place. The only way to describe it is like a multicolored vapor,
Wow.
almost like you're floating on a cloud of, bright, colorful, like trippy video colors.
Hmm.
And that's kind of what. And then even when I open my eyes and there's a little strip window that I'm looking at, if you can see it right
Yeah.
there. And each time it looked exactly the same, where it just kind of looked more visually appealing, almost like you were on like a psychedelic, like a very minimal, like a 1% psychedelic, or not even psychedelic, but like a, yeah, I don't even know how to describe it. Like a, yeah, like a trance where where it just seemed brighter, the colors seemed brighter, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
And then when you said I forgot exactly what you said, the line where you scream it in your brain. If you can say that one more
I
time.
deserve to be happy, healthy, and successful.
So what I saw was like when somebody climbs on top of Mount Everest, or being in Maryland, the Rocky, where he's doing this. And I saw me on top of a mountain with my hands in the air,
Oh, wow.
screaming that, I deserve to be happy, healthy, and successful. So that was an interesting, image that I saw.
Okay.
It's almost like that mountain landscape that I was on, of those clouds, turned into a massive mountain like Everest or Mount Kilimanjaro, and you're just on the top doing this, screaming that.
That's
And
wonderful.
that's kind of the image that I, you know. Then there was part where I wanted to laugh, but like you said, it, instead of staying here, that giddiness just kind of flowed from the top of the head all the way to the toes,
Mm.
where it
Mhm.
was like you want to laugh, or that feeling where you want to cry, or your
Yeah.
body wants to do it, but instead of doing it and going into the real world, it flowed a sense of peace from the top of my head to my toes.
Wow. Incredible. That's wonderful.
Yeah, it was an interesting experience.
So, is there a way I can share my screen? If what's this present button
Yeah,
here?
you press the present button, exactly.
Okay.
And then I added as a second screen.
So, I've got it up here.
And we kind of do like this.
Share screen. I don't want to share the whole screen. I just want to share a part of it. Is there a way to do that?
Yeah, if you click present and then share screen,
Okay.
then I can set that as another screen.
Okay. So, okay. So, okay. Share. Okay. So, can you set that to this window here?
It still hasn't showed up for me, ironically.
Oh, okay. Wait a minute. Entire. Window. Oh, I see. No, I can do it here. There.
Yep, there we go. Add to stage.
Okay. Very good. Okay. So, I call this, I'll send this to you, by the way. You don't have to take notes. I call this the zone. And my suggestion is to do it at least 3 times a day.
Okay.
2 or 3 minutes at a time, except if you're going to sleep, just take yourself into the zone with the intention of staying there indefinitely. And you will pass into sleep. It's a wonderful, nice way to put yourself to sleep. The steps are here. We went through it twice. I don't know if you noticed that or not. I think you did.
We did. Yeah, we did.
Mm-hmm. The mantra is here. I live with a happy heart, a peaceful mind, and a playful spirit. And like I said, I don't know if this is your current reality. To the extent that it's not, think of this as a direction. I don't want you to lie to yourself, but think of this as a direction where you're going. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Playful spirit is really important. We deal with all kinds of heavy things in our lives. Even then, it's important to maintain a certain lightness, a playful spirit. Because otherwise you just get bogged down in seriosity. You can vary the mantra if you're going to sleep. You can say, I sleep with a happy heart, a peaceful mind, and a playful spirit, or I dream. So I had this client once. He said, well, if I do this first thing in the morning, won't I just go back to sleep? I said, okay, in the morning, say, I wake with a happy heart, a peaceful mind, and a playful spirit. That seemed to satisfy him. Next thing I was going to tell him to do it standing up, which you can do, by the way. When I work with smokers, or I have them say it this way, I live smoke-free, or vape-free, or cocaine-free, or alcohol, whatever it is, with a happy heart, a peaceful mind, and a playful spirit. At the bottom, you'll find 3 links. This is to my YouTube channel. It's called The Zone, and it's what we just did. This is an audio. It's older, but it's the same thing. It's on Spotify, and this is a shorter form. It's also on Spotify. Okay, let me...
So I have a question about that.
Yeah.
So for me, I have a lot of nightmares.
Uh-huh.
Like even today I had a nightmare.
Okay.
And I wonder, is that because I don't have a peaceful mind? Is that because my, is it that I wonder if this helps with that, because I have nightmares at least once a week, and I've been having that at least for 2 years now that I can remember.
Well, I don't know. I'm not going to speculate on why you have nightmares. I mean, it's possible to work on that, to actually work with the dream, the different elements in the dream, and work through that. But I don't know. If you go to sleep with the zone, I don't know if you'll still have nightmares or not.
Mm-hmm.
Of course, you can also, if you wake up during the night, you can do it again. Same thing. So I don't know. It's possible to work with dreams, and I do that with clients.
Okay. It happens always at the end of the dream. That's why. So I end up waking up very early. Right. Like today I woke up at 4 a.m. So it happens where end of the dream is where I wake up. So I typically don't have the nightmares where I wake up at, in the middle of the night type of dream. So I don't know if it's a REM cycle dream, but it's typically towards right at the end of the dream, or the right before I wake up is when I have a nightmare. So I wake up with nightmares almost.
Okay. Well, okay. It can be worked with. I don't know if doing the zone will help or not.
I'm gonna try it for sure.
Okay. So as people do this, they change just from this. And I, of course, do a lot more. But they change in positive ways and sometimes unexpected ways. So I worked a few years ago. I worked with this young woman, 20 years old. She was a student at University of Maryland, Chinese, from China. Very anxious. First of all, she's in this strange country, speaking English most of the time.
Yeah.
She was anxious about her schoolwork. I think she was under a lot of pressure, maybe from her family or whatever. She had an American boyfriend. She was anxious about him. And she said there were mice running around in the air conditioner in her dorm room, and they wouldn't do anything to fix it. So I taught her the zone. I asked her to start doing it several times a day. She comes back a week later. This is when I had my office. And so I said, so how's it going? She says, well, I've been having these bouts of happiness for no apparent reason. I said, well, that sounds nice. She said, yeah. And then she says, and the mice are gone too. Think about it. Yeah, true story. So as you practice the zone, this will get easier and faster, and you'll be able to take yourself deeper, which can become fun. It's like you find this switch in your brain, and you just flip that switch and go there. And really, that's what we're after. So you can just take yourself at will into this altered state. Stay there as long as you want, and then come back. So let me show you one thing we can do with this. So once again, get comfortable. If you want to lie down, you can, or lift it up. And now just close your eyes, defocus your mind, take yourself into the zone. And I can't see your head, so when you're there, lift up one of your hands. Just take yourself into the zone and nod your head when you're there. Just go right back where you were a few moments ago. That's right. If you want me to guide you, say help. That's right. And just nod when you're there. Good. Stay there. I live with a happy heart, a peaceful mind, and a playful spirit over and over. And you can take yourself a little deeper if you like. It's very good. You did that all by yourself. Just stay there. Did that all by yourself. Sounds like you've already found that switch. That's wonderful. And begin to imagine or visualize yourself exactly the way you want to be. In every respect, inside and outside, mentally, physically, and spiritually, whatever that means to you. Now and in the future. This, Samuel, is your power self. This is you exactly the way you want to be. See or imagine him at first from a distance. And now zoom in closer and closer until you're right up next to him. So you could reach out and touch him if you wanted to. Float all around him. Experiencing him from all sides, from every angle. Listen to the sound of his voice as he speaks. Watch him as he moves. See the light in his eyes, the expression on his face, feel his heart, his spirit. And now step into him, your power self. Step into him and be him. Become him from the inside out. Looking out on the world through his eyes. Speaking with his voice and feeling the power in that voice. Moving freely and easily with his body, his arms, his legs, his muscles. Thinking clearly with his powerful mind. And feeling with his heart, his spirit. And some of the issues you used to struggle with, he, that is you, have resolved. They are no longer issues for you. And get a sense of what that is like to have resolved these things. What it feels like. What it looks like. What it sounds like, even what it smells and tastes like. And what this means to you. And the possibilities that open up for you now. The directions you can go in. Now. Be him. Be your power self. In a situation that might have been difficult or uncomfortable before. But be him now. In that situation, handling it easily, comfortably, confidently, gracefully. Let that situation play out. I'll give you some time for this. Take as long as you want. When you're ready to continue, lift up one of your hands. Now step back out. So again, you're viewing your power self from the outside, but having brought back with you some of what you learned, felt, and experienced in being him. And take a few moments now to incorporate what you brought back into your current self. You're programming yourself in the direction of your power self. Take as long a time as you need to, and when you're ready, you can open your eyes and bring yourself back. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. When you're ready, you could share anything you would like to about that. Or not.
It's interesting because, like you said, he's walking towards you, and now I see him walking away. It's like he's walking up, and it's like looking in a mirror, but it's not because he looks different. You know, he's in better shape, clean cut, short hair, and he had a black suit on and a watch. And I don't even like wearing watches, but yeah, that was the image I saw. Like a James Bond type of suit.
Uh-huh.
But yeah, that was exactly what I saw. And it's interesting because the mantra is what gets me there, but and you brought it up earlier about the senses, because a lot of times my negative thoughts will turn into it will turn into feeling. So as I'm doing it, I'll feel like a lump in my throat as I'm saying, I live with a happy heart, a peaceful mind, and a playful spirit. And the negativity of, well, you're not there, and this and that, and this and that, it manifests into a lump in my throat as I'm. So that was interesting as I'm trying to get there, and getting there, and so that was something that I noticed in that experience.
What was it like being him, being your power self?
It felt powerful, like kind of how a bully walks. Kind of, this,
Uh-huh.
Doesn't care if he bumps into people. It doesn't have a care in the world. It doesn't matter what other people think because he's successful. He's, confident. He's wearing a suit. He has a Rolex, so it feels like there's no care. Like nothing or no one can stop you, whether it's negative thoughts, whether it's people saying no, whatever it is, it doesn't affect you. It's almost like Captain America or Superman just falling down.
Wow.
So I would say, yeah, that would be the one word I would say is powerful. It feels powerful.
So I'd like you to do this once a day.
Okay.
One of the times you take yourself into the zone, imagine, visualize yourself exactly the way you want to be in every respect, your power self, and then step in and be him for a little bit. Go through a situation as him. And then when you're ready, step back out, but bring back with you some of what you learned, what you experienced, what you felt, and incorporate that into your current self. That's the exercise. That's also on my YouTube channel. And I'll send you a handout for this as well. Some of my clients get very creative with this. I worked with this guy a few years ago. His name was Derek. Young man, about your age. Very, very bright, creative. He had all these projects going, which he wasn't finishing. So that's why he was working with me. Derek named his power self. He called him Power Derek. Derek would wake up every morning and he would have a little meeting with Power Derek. He'd say, Power Derek, what do we need to get done today? and they'd figure it out, and Derek would go and do it. And he was getting advice from Power Derek. I think he was getting stock tips. That's a joke.
Yeah, right.
I worked with this woman named Chris. We were working on weight loss. She also named her power self. She called her Lean Christine. Whenever Chris was around food she felt she shouldn't be eating, she would say to herself in this prissy voice, Lean Christine doesn't eat this. So you're welcome to.
So is that what you? So when you say that there's something you have to bring to the real world from that person,
Yeah.
it's saying what would that person do, say, act, feel,
Sure.
and bring that.
And bring it into yourself. Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah. So, yeah, once a day. That's the suggestion. Yeah.
It's interesting because, for the audience, when you think about the three elements that you touch on, the first exercise we did was athletics, was people that are athletes. So it's taking your physical ability, applying it to your body. In our case, it was the arm, and then visualizing what your body can do, then doing it again and seeing in real time what your body can achieve. Then the second exercise is dealing with the trauma or peace, dealing with that side of hypnosis and saying, find your peace inward in your head, in your heart, in your spirit, and flow throughout your body. And in the exercise we just did, that affects achievers. And it can affect everyone, like you said, with weight loss, but it affects achievers. If I'm a business owner like myself, and I'm, looking at where I want to be, and looking at that guy who's done it all, who's made it, who's climbed the mountaintop, who's doing the things of the goals, the money goals, the business goals, the life goals, family goal, every goal I have, and saying that is him. And even though it feels like that guy is a million miles away, you take the visualization, and as you get into that trance, you realize that he's a lot closer, or in the case with Christine, she's a lot closer than you think. See, our negative self-talk, where I say me, my negative self-talk thinks that person is so far away. But as you get in that trance closer and closer, you find he can get as close as a foot, as an inch away from you, as close as a centimeter, so close that you can actually step into him and become him in your own mind. And then realize that you and him can become what you want to achieve. And like you said, if you do it consistently, you'll realize that he's a lot closer than you think he is. And eventually you become him.
Yeah.
So it's interesting how it touches on all three of them.
So a lot of this is what we call generative hypnosis. A lot of people think of hypnosis, well, you hypnotize someone, you give them suggestions, and then you bring them out. But really, what I'm doing with you is I'm kind of creating a scenario, a scene. I'm helping you create a situation, and you play it out. And that's what you did. I didn't tell you what your power self was like. I just told you to you exactly the way you want to be. And then you took it from there. we set that up. I set up a situation. I said, be your power self in a situation, handling it easily, comfortably, confidently, gracefully. And then I let you play that out. And that's very powerful, I think.
That is very powerful because, like you said, you start to, I think, especially in the case of me, I have a lot of negative self talk. That's why I have to do affirmations every day.
Mm-hmm.
Still, I have a lot of negative self talk. So for me, the generative hypnosis works well because it helps me to become the positive. Because in my reality, I live in the negative a lot, whether it's in the dream world, whether it is, just in thought processes, whether it is in, whatever it is. I think the negative a lot. So when I live in the generative hypnosis of creating a scene and having it play out of what I want it to be and what I want to be, that helps me to get to the positive in reality.
It's kind of like improv, isn't it?
Yeah. But in reality, because thoughts become things. Like you brought up with Tiger Woods. Tiger Woods is the greatest golfer of all time, or I think he is. He's at least top 2. And he's been doing the generalization, or and like we brought up earlier, visualization. Like we brought up earlier, a lot of athletes and high level performers, whether it's Adele, the Eagles, who when they won the Super Bowl the first time, they do this. They visualize exactly what the score is, exactly what the smell is, exactly what the feeling is, exactly what the taste of the Gatorade is, exactly what the feeling of their face, exactly how it feels to wear the Super Bowl shirts, and every little element is what you're visualizing. And like you said with there, where he's visualizing, let's take Steph Curry for example. He's visualizing how the basketball feels, his stroke, it going into the hoop, and doing it over and over and over and over again. Because as they say, especially in athletics, they don't see the millions of shots that you miss. They only see the shots you take on the court.
Right. So that's visualization is an important way that I work with athletes and others. But so for instance, one of the exercises is you can actually visualize, maybe like as though you're watching a movie or a video, Steph Curry, say taking a certain shot, and then you can step into him and be him. And then you can take it one step further, doing the same things. Now be yourself. I call that the three-step modeling process. You can actually acquire a skill that somebody else has doing it that way. As far as the negative self-talk, if we were to continue to work together, we would work with the part of you that's doing that. That's not all of you. It's an aspect. It's a part of you. And we would work with that part of you. We would ask it, what do you want? And find out. And then keep going. When you have that, then what do you want? That's in that core. That's core transformation. That's in that video on my YouTube channel. I don't know if you've watched it yet, but
so that's parts therapy. That's what parts therapy is.
It is a form of parts therapy. But but in this form of parts therapy, you would get to what we call a core state. It's a high level existential, or if you like, spiritual state of being. And that's what the part really wants. It's on the order of love, wholeness, oneness, being, peace. And then we use that core state to transform the part and the person. It's very powerful. It's called core transformation. The other thing I do with clients is called, well, not the one other thing I do is called wholeness work. So I want to give you a little demonstration of that.
All right.
The taste of it. I think, yeah. So I wonder if you can think of, I don't want to take something really heavy, but maybe something that somebody you know does or says that just kind of pushes your buttons, sets you off. Can you think of something like that?
Yeah.
Okay. So think of that particular thing and go back to when they were doing it. And how does that make you feel?
It makes me feel like a failure.
Okay.
Like I can't do it. Like I can't achieve anything.
Oh. I don't want nothing that heavy.
It's not heavy. It's just something that this
Okay,
person
okay.
I mean exposed them online.
Okay.
But
Fine.
what they do is they assume that what I'm doing isn't enough.
Okay, so you don't have to explain it. So it makes you
Yeah.
feel like a failure, right?
Yeah.
Where do you feel that?
Remember when I brought up the lump in my throat earlier?
Yeah. Uh-huh.
That's exactly where I feel it.
So about how big is that feeling? Marble, apple,
Like a gumball.
gumball. Okay. And if you go into it and sense it, what's the quality as a physical sensation? Is
It's
it
like
hard?
trying
Soft?
to swallow. It's like trying to swallow where you need water, but you can't.
Okay.
You don't have any water.
Okay. So that feeling. Okay. So
Yeah.
I want you now sense into that. You say, I'm aware of this sensation in my throat, this lump. It's kind of hard to swallow. Notice now, where's the I that's aware of that? It's probably a different location. I am aware of this. Where is the I?
Right here.
Uh-huh. Is it inside or outside?
I guess both, honestly.
Both. Okay. Yeah. I have that a lot too. Sense into that as a sensation again. What kind of quality does it have? As a physical sensation. Is it hard, soft, light,
Like
dense?
a vibration.
A vibration. Okay.
Very, very light. Like this much.
Vibration. Let's go one more level. Sense into that. You could say, I am aware of this white vibration sensation in and out of the back of my head. Where's the I that's aware of that?
Yeah, still kind of in the throat.
Well, a little higher.
A little higher.
Yeah, I'm just looking at where your hand is. Okay. Sensing into that feeling, what kind of quality does that have? Just as a physical sensation.
I guess airy.
Okay. We'll come back to that in a moment. I want to talk about awareness. If I make a sound, you're instantly aware of it, right?
Yeah.
You don't have to listen. You don't have to think about it. It just happens. Bang. You're aware of it. If somebody were on the other side of the room calling out your name, you'd be aware of that. The same thing. You don't have to listen. You don't have to try. It just happens. If somebody were touching you on the shoulder, you'd be aware of that. Without any effort, it would just happen. You're aware of all the space inside of you and all the space around you, all around you, all sides, above and below. And that awareness extends out. There's no boundary or edge to it, right? It just goes and goes. We don't know how far it goes. It's vast. Really, you could say awareness is the capacity to notice, to perceive, to experience. And it's this vast field inside of you and all around you. So close your eyes, go back to that sensation kind of at the top of your throat, your jaw. And notice, does it welcome the invitation to open, relax, dissolve, melt in and as that full field of awareness that's all around and throughout? Does it welcome doing that? And if it does, just invite that to happen. You don't really have to do anything. It'll happen all on its own as it opens, relaxes, dissolves, melts into and as that full, vast field of awareness. And if you yourself feel feelings of relaxing, dissolving, melting, just enjoy those feelings. Just let me know when this feels complete or settles. There's no hurry.
It did. Like it did just literally dissolved.
Yeah, and the feeling in the back of your head and outside, is that the same or has it changed?
I don't feel anything.
Okay, and the lump in your throat, is that the same or has it changed?
It literally dissolved.
So now go back being this way with both of the eyes and that original feeling dissolved, integrated into awareness. Go back to when that person was doing or saying whatever they were and tell me what that's like for you now.
I think about him,
Uh-huh.
and he doesn't care because it just.
Yeah, and how do you feel?
I kind of laugh at it a little bit, honestly.
Isn't that interesting?
You know, I kind of just, yeah, I kind of laugh at it. Like I kind of, I think, yeah, I don't let it affect me. It used to be where I don't want to be around you, but it's, I love this person, so it's not like I can do that. But now it's just kind of like,
Uh-huh.
it's just, yeah, it just flows.
This is called wholeness work. So I learned it maybe 13, 14 years ago. I use it with myself. I use it with clients. It's a way of changing your reactions, your emotions around something. And it's very powerful, and we can use it for a lot of different things. I just wanted to give you a kind of a brief taste of it.
So that works for trauma then. People that have trauma.
Yeah. Oh, yes.
So I have a question about that because you work with people that have trauma. Because I've worked with a lot of providers that touch on the various elements of trauma work, from psychedelic medicine to hypnotherapy to breath work to somatic therapy. And what I find in all four of those cases is if they don't do the wholeness work, as you put it, they're just going to continue to do psychedelics over and over again, or they're just going to keep going back to the therapist.
Mm-hmm.
So have you found when working with trauma patients that the wholeness work, whether vitamin or mushrooms or whatever it is to help with their trauma, do you find that it works in conjunction?
That's a good question. I would say so. Like if somebody's doing what's the thing, the South American herb that
Oh,
that
uh,
starts with an A.
ayahuasca.
Yeah, some of my clients have done that, and I think it's similar in some ways. It's not. There's no clash. It's consonant. It's congruent,
Complementary. Yeah.
complementary. Yeah.
Yeah.
Um, I believe when we're doing so, one of the first people I worked with this way was this woman who was stuttering.
Hmm.
So I asked her, could she get the feeling she has when she's trying to get out a word or a phrase? She said, yes. I said, where do you feel it? She says, it's in my throat.
Hmm.
And then, so we went through the process. What's the size of it? What's the quality? Where's the eye that's aware of it and so forth? We integrated those. She comes back a week later and she says, well, I'm still stuttering, but I don't care about it anymore.
Hmm.
And actually, she was stuttering less because most people who stutter are constantly monitoring their vocal output. They're thinking, is this going to come out right? Am I going to be able to say this? Is there some other way I could say it? And she had largely stopped doing that. And over the next few weeks, the stuttering got less and less until it was gone. So I believe in doing this. Well, there are a number of perspectives on this. One is that the eye, so you're thinking of the eye that's aware of this, it's a small, relatively small location, right, in space. When we open it up, when we merge it with that vast field of awareness, that's what the philosophers, the gurus call the big eye.
Hmm.
And actually, all the spiritual religious traditions have that notion, the big eye. You could say it's your whole neurology, if you like. But from that perspective, so I call this sometimes an exercise in perspective. So from the perspective of the big eye, that's the best way to think of when you're trying to solve an issue, resolve a problem. I think we're actually changing stuff in the brain. So when you feel, an emotion, say it's in your chest, well, it's something going on in your brain, and you're projecting it to your chest or to your throat, right, or to wherever. I think we're actually making changes in the brain of some. I can't back that up scientifically,
Yeah.
but what we do in this way tends to be permanent. So I just wanted to give you a little taste of it.
I think it's because, to your point, modern day science doesn't have any address on the spiritual side or the energy side of the brain and the body. They do not touch on it at all. And I think that there's a massive, whether it's whether it's religious or not religious, I don't think that even matters. But there is a spiritual element in the body that I think that modern science doesn't address. That holistic medicine, whether it's hypnotherapy, energy work, mindset, looked at,
Yeah.
that I think plays a massive role in the brain,
Mm-hmm.
right? Whether it's, and it's all species. You look at, they've done music therapy with plants, and they play hard rock and roll or rap, and the plant dies, and then they play classical music and the plant, lives. They've done this with animals as well. They've done this in humans, where when there's peace, when there is mindset that is, I live with a peaceful spirit, a happy heart, and a playful. I live with a playful spirit, a happy heart,
peaceful mind, playful spirit.
I think that people start to change And I don't think that traditional medicine looks at this element at all.
Mhm.
It's when it comes to mindset, performance, and vitality.
Okay, so I think enough as far as the session is concerned, enough for today.
That being said, I have a couple follow-up questions just for the audience concerned. So the first question is, and instead of asking questions just for the audience about his bio and all of those things, you can find that at decentmed.org/hypnopract or at his website, silverspringhypnosis.com
The other
or
way,
hypnosissilverspring.com if you want to learn about the bio. But I think what people care more about is how this affects them and how it can change their life for the better. So, and it won't be a long interview, but the first question is when you look at your client base and you look at some of the exercises and sessions that we did today for high performance athletes, is there one thing that we did today that you do for them specifically that works best, or do you do this whole entire session for athletes to its entirety?
This is pretty much, this session is usually the first session I do with everybody. Sometimes there are exceptions, but this is the way. As far as athletes are concerned, the zone, the title, the name of it is not, but it's not an accident, right? And in later sessions, so I like to teach. Well, like I say, the key to performance is simultaneous relaxation and focus. And that's not easy. And you think of them as opposites, right? If you're focused, you're not relaxed. If you're relaxed, you're not. But you have to do them both. So I watch some of my favorite tennis players sometimes. I mean, this is true of everybody, all sports. And I do it myself. You get a short ball, right? And you rush up to it. You get there in plenty of time, and it's a gimme. All you have to do is just knock it into the corner. Boom, you hit it long. Why? Well, you're focused, but you're not relaxed. Right. Sometimes, so we want to work on that. Sometimes I'll have, working with an athlete, I'll have them learn to run or jog in trance. Take yourself into the zone, and then you learn to walk that way. You can walk around in trance with your eyes open and even run. I would want you to, if you're a tennis player, just practice taking yourself into the zone and serving, or if you're a golfer. Now you don't necessarily want to be, you do want to be in trance when you're actually performing, because the zone, I mean, it means something, right? When you're really in the zone as an athlete or in life, it's like, every shot is going in, and even your mistakes are working out.
Yeah.
That's what we look for. We do a lot of visualization, but then also work on the other stuff like the anxiety. You can't, well, you can, but you don't want to go into a game or a performance anxious, tight. You can be keyed up. That's kind of focus, but you don't want to be anxious. You don't want to think, oh, this is break point. If I lose this point, you don't want to have all that anxiety. So we work on that. Work on whatever is in the way. We do a lot of visualization, learning to basically perform in a certain kind of trance. It's not the kind of trance where you're comatose and your eyes are closed and you're limp, but
Yeah.
but you could say it's a mindset. But and it's hard to describe exactly, but that's, and if you're a high performance athlete, you know what it's like. You already know what it's like. We want you to be able to get there at will. I don't know. What was the question?
Well, no, you answered it fantastically, because I've listened to an athlete. I don't remember who it was, but he spoke about he had a great performance, and they asked him about exactly what you're talking about, being in the zone, and he said that you don't think, you're not thinking about the next shot. You're literally in a trance,
Yeah.
going through the motion, because I'm thinking NBA because when I think of that term, I most think NBA when I think the term the zone. I don't think of any other sport really, because when you're in the zone, you're hitting shots consistently. Everybody in the NBA, they know the motions of an NBA game if they're not a rookie. And even if they are a rookie, they know the motions of basketball because they've been playing for forever. They
Practice
know
over and over and over again. Your body knows, and your brain knows what to do.
exactly. But it was when they get in the zone, they're not thinking at all. I might have been JJ Redick actually, and they're not thinking about anything. They're just hitting the shot and going, and that is the zone. And even from a high performer perspective, like you brought up with anxiety, if as a salesperson, when I go through calls, if I have anxiety, or if I'm overthinking about the script, or I'm overthinking about whatever it is, my chance of getting the sale drops.
Sure.
If I know what I'm doing, but I can go through the zone and get in a place of, okay, I know that I got to figure out this person's pain point. I got to get them to tie their pain point to my platform, and then I have to convince them to say yes, actually do it. The process. But if I get in the zone consistently and become that power self where he doesn't care if you say no or not, then I get to a place where I'm getting sales consistently.
Yes.
So that is the zone in a nutshell, and that is why that is the ultimate dream of an athlete is getting in. And I think Kobe Bryant, one of the greatest basketball players ever, when he hit that 81-point game, or Michael Jordan, it's being in the zone consistently of give me the ball, shoot the shot, goes in, and doing that over and over again and not thinking about it. In the same way of the driving analogy, everybody drives. There's millions and millions of Americans that drive, or really billions of people around the world that drive, right? But and then just like with athletics, getting them to be in that trance where to a point where I'm still on the highway and 50 minutes just passed. And I think music helps, for me at least, to get me through that.
So one of my teachers said, they come into your office in trance, and your job, my job, is to help them find a better trance.
Yeah. Because again, back to the negativity, and that's my next question is how do you, and you kind of touched on it earlier, but how do you go through the motions for let's talk high performers. Since we talked about athletics, we talked a little bit about trauma earlier. The next question is about high performance. So for high performing executives, salespeople, CEOs, C-suite individuals, people that are trying to make 100K to 200K to 400K to 500K, what are some things you can do that you help them with from a perspective to get them to boost their performance 10x?
In a way, it's very similar to an athlete. I mean, how are you performing when you're in a meeting with the people you lead? When you're speaking in public, what's in the way? What are your fears? What are your what makes you uptight, and how can we change that? Who are your models? And can you visualize in a way that basically you're pulling from your experience with your models, the people that you admire, but then a lot of it is what's in your way. Are you anxious going into that meeting? Or are you feel calm and centered and in the zone?
So is that what most people need, is to find what's in their way and remove that,
Yeah.
no matter the industry?
Yeah. Right. I've worked with 2 or 3 opera singers. And this one woman, everything came down to her throat. I mean, singing, of course, but when she was talking about her mother, the feelings were in her throat. When she was talking about her boyfriend, the feelings were in her throat. So we can address that.
So my final question is regarding generative hypnosis and the zone. What was your why for implementing generative hypnosis versus what other hypnotherapists do and creating the zone?
First of all, I didn't invent generative hypnosis. I mean, a lot of people do it. So, in a way, I don't know what suggestions to give you. So, it's much better. Of course, I'm using suggestion to create, have you visualize your power self and step into your power self. You exactly what you want to be. You know what that is, or you can imagine it, right? I don't. So for me to hypnotize you and say you are powerful, you're smart, well, that's good. It may not be exactly what you need, though. You know exactly what you need, and if I can help you set that up, and then move forward with that. Through your own imagination, it's much more powerful. Let's see. That's one reason for doing generative hypnosis. I don't know you. I mean, I might know you a little bit, but basically, I don't know you, but you know you. By the way, I do a variation of power self. I call it healed self.
For trauma. I like that.
Well, for trauma. And so twice a month, I do this class with cancer patients. It's with this organization we have here, Hope Connections for Cancer Support. People can look that up, by the way. Hope Connections for Cancer Support. I think you could probably join it online. But I do a twice a month class, hypnosis for symptom relief. We do some pain work. Some of that works for neuropathy, but also, I teach them the zone, and then I do healed self. Imagine, visualize yourself completely healed. It's similar to power self, but it's more specific. And then step in and be that person. That in itself is healing. A lot of those people have forgotten what it's like to be healed, because they've basically taken on the identity of being a sick person. So this kind of helps shake that up a little bit.
Well, Dr. Pellis, I really thank you for joining us today. You gave me a new mantra. I probably said it a times today, and I think I'm going to start saying a lot more, because I think this works better than affirmations. Granted, I believe every single affirmation I've said has come true. But what this does is this not only gets you in a trance, but it enables you to perform at a high level. because a lot of times when I'm in a state of panic, a state of fear, even when I don't need to be, because my thing is I'm always thinking about 2 weeks from now, when today's Saturday. I'm thinking about my calls for Monday. I'm thinking about bills for that and this and this and that, instead of living in today's Saturday. Enjoy today. There's an adage that says, don't focus on tomorrow when there's troubles of their own today. I might have butchered that. But this has really gave me new perspective on life. That if I'm living this life with I live a happy heart, a peaceful mind, and a playful spirit, like you said, there's no guarantee it will get rid of the nightmares. There's no guarantee that it will, fix that. But you've seen success that it will help you live a better life, and it will give you unexpected outcomes. Like in the case of that woman that was, said that there's no more mice in the AC. So I think for the audience, this is a really intriguing and informative interview. So you can find Don at decentmed.org/hypnotherapy, as well as decentmed.org/hypnopract, and Hypnosis Silver Springs or silverspring.com.
Right. There's no S on Silver Spring.
Yeah, Silver Spring. HypnosisSilverspring.com. Don, any final thoughts, closing thoughts?
Yeah, since you mentioned fear is not useful for an adult. Of course, it's good to have an assessment of, what might be, what could be danger or anything. It's good to be able to understand that and assess it. But the emotion of fear just gets in your way. It interferes with your clear thinking. And so we want to basically get rid of fear. Doesn't mean you're going to be foolhardy, because you have a brain, you can figure out what's dangerous, what's not, and so forth. But you don't need the fear. And that's true of a lot of negative emotions. So I really appreciate this, Sam.